Darnold looks, fires inside, ball is caught, touchdown, Seahawks!
Second with an RBI double, and the Mariners have the lead.
2 sports, 2 teams, 1 podcast. Welcome to the 12th Inning Podcast. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 10 of the 12th Inning Podcast. My name is Rich. I'm joined, as always, by my buddy Mitch. And Episode 10. How crazy is that? On today's episode, we are, of course, going to be discussing that awesome Seahawks win over the Commanders on Sunday Night Football. We'll be discussing the upcoming game versus the Cardinals and just a couple other things as per usual with Seahawks land, including the trade made at the trade deadline. Then, as far as the Mariners go, we actually do have a couple things to talk about this week, along with our kind of off-season outlook and what moves we'd like to see the Mariners make before the 2026 season. But yeah, if that sounds good to you guys, let's hop right into it. Mitch, how we feeling?
Well, that was a dominating win.
Yeah, it was exactly the kind of win that I think I texted you, like, we needed that. You know,
oh, yeah.
Like, it's just not even that we weren't on a losing streak or anything like that. Like, it hasn't been like, it wasn't like we needed it to get right. We needed it to show everybody what we were about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do have some thoughts on the game, though. Like, while it was a dominating win, there were a couple things.
Yeah, definitely.
There always is.
Yeah, for sure. For me, like, one thing I didn't love was that Sam Darnold pick was bad. Like, that was just a bad choice by him, which I didn't love. It doesn't tarnish the performance as a whole for me, but it just kind of showed, like, yes, he's been better at protecting the ball. Like, he is like straight up better than he was in Minnesota, and they went on to win 15 games, whatever it was last year. And he's been better than that. But that interception was one of those ones where you just kind of like watched it happen and you're like, come on, dude, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And yeah, just there were a bunch of other things, but yeah, I mean, it was.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, you. I was gonna say, it's good to see the Seahawks win in that kind of fashion. I also do want to say, like, before we get too deep into
no,
it,
I was gonna say
that. Yeah, it really sucks to see what happened to Jaden Daniels. My thoughts are with him. He's one of the greatest young talents, I think, in the game right now, and really sucks to see him get down. It sounds like everybody was saying it's a dislocated elbow. It wasn't a broken arm or anything like that, thankfully. But he's still going to be out for the season.
It was I believe announced that it's just a dislocated elbow. From what I was seeing, they don't think he'll be out for the entire season. He might be able to come back for like the last few games, but he's gonna be out for a while, just recovering.
So
I think it was stupid that he was even in at that point. You're not going to win the game at that point. You can't.
No.
No.
I think
it was a bad choice.
Even Quinn said, like, yeah, I think he was in a press conference saying, like, yeah, like, that was, I take the responsibility for that. That was not a great call on my part. And it's like, great. I'm glad you know that. It's a little bit too late. You fucking, it was dumb for them to leave him in there, especially because they had just punted and it was already late in the fourth quarter. Like, if you're punting late in the fourth quarter, your game is done. And yeah, just not having him in there, not a smart move, especially because, I mean, Mariota is the type of quarterback who could put you in position to, like, come back against the right team. So it's not like they have, I don't know, Davis Mills at quarterback or, anybody in the Rams QB room. Like, they have a halfway decent quarterback as their backup. And so even chancing it to leave your star in there like that, just a horrible decision. Somehow the Seahawks managed to get more injured on the coming off the bye week. Like, that is only the Seahawks would do that. So
Such
injuries to the defense. Team. Literally injuries to the defense. Obviously Cooper Kupp wasn't available in this game. He was out with I think it was a heel thing going on. It wasn't anything too serious. We'll say really cool watching him on this. Hamstring. Thank you. It was really, really cool watching him on the sidelines, kind of like talking to the guys, like just coaching it up. Like they were saying he had an earpiece and everything like that. Like that was really, really cool to see. So still involved, even if he wasn't out there on the field. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter in the slightest. Sam Darnold, 21 for 24, 330 yards. As I mentioned earlier, 87% completion rating, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 140 passer rating. Mind you, his average per pass was 13.75 yards. That is just stupid. That's insane. Sam Darnold really put himself on the map, I think, with this game, as did the Seahawks as a whole. But Sam Darnold, I think, played a huge part in that. The Seahawks were already starting to get a little bit of national attention because Sam Darnold naturally came with some cameras on him. He's coming from an awesome year in Minnesota, and you're not entirely sure how he's going to play in Seattle. The offensive line was supposed to be bad. And it's better, and he's performing. So already a little bit of a spotlight there. And then JSN, he's on track to break the single season receiving record, and breaking Seahawks records, things like that. So you're paying attention there. And so then to show out like this on a primetime game versus a very popular team in the Washington Commanders, even if they're not that good, there was a lot of hype surrounding them with Jaden Daniels coming back. Is this the game where the Commanders turn it around? If the Commanders beat the Seahawks, their season has a totally different trajectory. Like they're looking at, okay, like that is a game that you win and you take momentum. But instead, the Seahawks came in, they kicked them when they're down, which, ouch. But, prove to the media as a whole, prove to the entire nation that, no, the Seahawks are for real. They are a top 5 team in the NFL, and come, playoff time, I would not be surprised if we see them in the NFC Championship at least. I personally think that they could make the Super Bowl. I think, if you put them against any of the top contenders, the Eagles, I think we can beat them. The Lions, I think we can beat them. The Buccaneers, yes, we lost to them earlier this year, but at the same time, we were 1 or 2 plays away from beating them. Same thing with our loss to the Niners, so this Seahawks team absolutely has everything in them to be a Super Bowl contender, and they put that all out on the field this week. JSN once again had a solid game, honestly a bad game by his standards. The last couple of games, he had 8 receptions for only 129 yards. Like, come on, what are we doing? Like, only 129 yards? Let's go. I think he's actually cracked 1,000 yards for the season too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Cody White, he checked in with a touchdown, 60 yards, which is awesome. Torrey Horton, he had the other majority with 48, and he had 2 touchdowns, which was awesome to see Horton get a couple touchdowns. Arroyo checked in with a touchdown. Barner got some yards. Zach Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker, so some solid. They were eating good because Sam Darnold was on his shit.
Yeah, I do have some notes on all the touchdowns as well.
Yeah.
That was Cody White's first touchdown of the season.
Mm-hmm. First touchdown of his NFL career.
Oh, yeah. And then Torrey Horton got 2 touchdowns in this game. The first 2 touchdowns of the game, he got both of them. So Torrey Horton going off once again. 5th round steal, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly,
oh, yeah.
I think he might be the steal of the draft.
Yeah,
at this point.
I think so.
I
think I would agree with that.
The fact that we have JSN and Torrey Horton both tearing it up this year, it's amazing. I love Cooper Kupp, and I miss him being out there with them as well, because when he's out there, he's also tearing it up. It took him a little bit this first couple games. Yeah, he didn't really check in that much, but since then he's come back and he's been Cooper Kupp again. And then of course he goes and be's a typical Seattle Seahawk. When he's doing good, gets hurt.
Yeah, he's been, like you said, he's been Cooper Kupp. Like, he's not, 2021 Triple Crown winner Cooper Kupp anymore, but he's exactly what you kind of hoped he would be, with a serviceable to above average veteran who is going to help the guys around him and who's going to check in with some yards and touchdowns himself. That's been exactly what he's been, and I think he's been worth every penny they're paying for him. I think he absolutely has been playing up to the tune of a $15 million quarterback. I'd love to see him do a little bit better, but just knowing the ceiling that he has had. And I do think that there is some of that in him still. But I've been perfectly happy with what we've gotten with Cooper Kupp. But, obviously, he wasn't in this game, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then also Ty Okada, first interception, first career interception.
That
it
was
was
a beautiful interception.
It was a Tyler Lockett toe tap that he did to get that interception. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was a wonderful interception. One thing I do want to highlight actually as a negative for me, and I'll go a bit more in depth in this later in the episode. The running game again left some to be desired. 42 yards out of Walker, on 11 carries, 25 yards on 8 carries for Charbonnet, both of them averaging under 4 yards a carry. Like, that's just, it's still so rough. Robbie Oots was back, which was nice. It didn't really feel like he made as much of a difference this game, which is fine. It's his first game back from injury. Give him some time to get back on his feet. But yeah, the rushing game has still left a lot to be desired. I will say, Bradford on Sunday actually did pretty good. He was doing pretty solid. He heard that everybody wanted him off the team and was like, okay, I'm sorry, I'll start trying. And he was fine. The offensive line was solid last week, and excited to see them kind of continue to grow. They definitely seem like they are improving as a unit, which is really, really awesome. Gray Zabel, of course, still, I think, one of the, if not the lowest pressure percentages in the NFL. He still hasn't allowed a single sack, I think, from his side.
He's only allowed 8 pressures.
Yeah, he's been nuts. So
nine
weeks
in, and he's only allowed 8 pressures. That's less than 1 pressure per game. Yeah. Now, granted,
some guys
most of those
get 8 pressures a game.
Most of those have come in more recent games because he did go through the first 5 weeks not allowing a single pressure. So
yeah, but
these last 3 games have been where most of his pressures have come from, but
yeah, no, definitely. You can't expect him to be 100% all year, but just been really exciting to see that offensive line kind of improve as a unit, and looking forward to seeing where they go moving forward. Just still need to get that rushing game going. If this team can get the rush game going, we're unstoppable. I think because having this offense be as deadly as they are over the air, and having the defense also need to, like, the opposing defenses also need to pay attention to the run would be wonderful, and that just isn't the case right now. Nobody's having trouble stopping our runs, which is frustrating. This was supposed to be a run first team, and I do appreciate the fact that they're still trying. It's still 11 attempts, 8 attempts, but need to do a bit better. Did forget to mention that Holani checked in with three attempts and 9 yards.
AJ Barner also got the 1-yard touchdown.
Yeah, which was sick. Let's not forget, if we're naming everybody else, Jackson Smith and Jigba checked in with a run, 1 run for 11 yards. So he was your best rusher by average. So that tells you all you need to
know. But yeah, you ready to move on to the stars?
Yep, let's get into our stars of the week. My 3-star, I've already talked about him in length ad nauseum. Sam Darnold. I think he's absolutely my 3-star of the week. Going perfect in the first half, and only throwing 3 incompletions all game. That hit like crack on a primetime game. And he's fine. Like, he's telling the league, like, hey, like, y'all sleeping on me. Like, I've been playing like this all year, and you guys are still just like, whoa, like, we didn't know Sam Darnold was this good. Yeah, I'm that good. Let's move on. Like, do you think Sam Darnold's in the MVP talks?
Yes, 100%.
He should be. And I think he is.
He's also my 3-star as well, so I didn't have much more to say than what you did. I was going to be perfect through the first half. That's insane. And only having 3 incompletions and 1 stupid interception.
Yeah.
But still having 330 yards. So who's your 2-star for the week, though?
Honestly, I think I'm damn. You know what? I'm going to make my 2-star Cody White, actually. Okay. Checked in with, he had 1 60-yard reception, touchdown, 2 targets. Like, I don't know. He like, even though he only had the 1 reception, he it was solid. It was a great play by him, coming off of the practice squad, by the way, like obviously in Mike McDonald's, scheme, that's kind of by design. Like the practice squad is not just a practice squad, it's a ready squad. These guys are ready to go at all times. But yeah, I mean, he had a wonderful play and looked really good out there. And yeah, I'm gonna say Cody White is my 2-star.
Okay. My 2-star is Torrey Horton. I think
I could have picked him too. I thought about it.
Can
we just say the receiving core as a whole?
Right. I am going with Torrey Horton specifically.
Yeah.
I think he is truly becoming one of my favorite players on the Seahawks.
Yeah. He's been a lot of fun to watch.
Him and Imawari, honestly, are two of my favorite players to watch on the Seahawks right now. Torrey Horton's definitely becoming one of my favorite players to watch. Like, don't get me wrong, JSN, amazing. But I love watching a rookie do just super well, and I hope to God he stays on the team and he doesn't have a horrible sophomore slump. I don't think he will, because while he is doing amazing, he's not doing it doesn't feel like he's hit his ceiling. It feels like he's somewhere in his middle range right now. Like, this isn't his floor, but it's not his ceiling either. And I would agree. I don't think he'll crash and burn in his sophomore year, but it's either like with this, it's literally it's a 50-50 on he'll either do better next year or do slightly worse. I don't think he'll do the exact same. I think he'll either go up or down, but I can't tell where he'll go at this point.
Yeah,
but
no, for sure.
But
he is so much fun.
He'll be my Torrey Horton is my 2-star. He's a lot of fun to watch.
All right, well, I will let you do the 1-star then. Start off.
My 1-star, because they still did really well, is actually going to be the defense as a whole. I think I'm going to mainly say the secondary specifically.
Yeah,
because they were just locked down even with starters out once again. The backups were locked down. Like, yeah, the Commanders got 2 touchdowns. One of those was from Mariota coming in after Daniels got hurt, and I mean, he kind of got to give me. He was on the 4-yard line. It
was garbage time.
It was literally on the 4-yard line.
Yeah.
The Seahawks weren't really caring at that point, but still.
They started pulling starters in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. And so the secondary is going to be my 1-star. Just they were locked down, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah, the secondary was great. Absolutely solid 1-star. I think for me, the 1-star this week is going to be the offensive line, just because they've looked good. We were talking about it. They've looked good these last few weeks. Anthony Bradford specifically looked way better looked way better this week. He looked like he had heard all the noise around the league, and just kind of it was a put up or shut up kind of feel, and he put up. I'm gonna give him his flowers. I think the offensive line was great. My no star. I think this is I'm gonna say maybe the 3rd week in a row, if I had to guess, of me having this as my no star. It's going to be the rushing team. It's going to be the rushing attack again. The rushing attack. Kenneth Walker, 11 attempts, 42 yards, 3.8 average yards. Zach Charbonnet, 8 for 25, with a 3.1. No touchdowns. That's, how many times have I said this? Unacceptable for a team that is supposed to be rushing first. These guys need to figure it out. Jackson Smith and Jigba was your best rusher by average because he had 1 rush for 11 yards. Come on, man. We got to figure something out. I love that our offense has been so potent in the passing game, but the rushing game is just with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet way more disappointing than I was expecting, and than I feel like it should be. So yeah. No star of the week, as per usual so far, was the rushing game.
Yeah, that was going to be my no star as well. It's disappointing, to say the least. Is you have Kenneth Walker, you have Zach Charbonnet, and they're not doing anything. They're not giving that opportunity for those play actions as much as they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Sure, the Commanders bought into every play action the Seahawks did this week, but that's the Commanders' defense.
Yeah.
You're not going to pull that when you play the Colts.
No.
You might get
not.
one, maybe two play actions before they realize, oh, you guys can't actually run on us. So we need to get this run game figured out before we face the Colts. Because coming, like, the next few games to the end of the season, the Colts is the only game where I'm actually really worried about. The Rams
I think
game,
them and the Rams for me.
The Rams game coming up isn't one that I'm like extremely worried about. I think we could win that game.
Yeah.
But we need to do better. We need to fix the little mistakes that are happening both on offense and defense. If we're going to beat the Rams. That's why when it comes to the Rams, I'm like, I don't know. I hope we beat them. 100% I hope we beat them. But I don't know with the way that they're playing right now if we would. And if we do, I think it'll be a close game.
No star of the week. Rushing attack needs to be better. You're not going to get far in this league if you're only a one-pronged defense. But yeah, honestly, I know we'll go into our overall thoughts here. I don't really have anything that we haven't mentioned. This game was awesome. It was wonderful to see a blowout. It was great to see, the ball get passed around this week. JSN, we haven't really talked about him all that much. He checked in with 8 receptions, 129 yards. Did solid, did fantastic. But that's it wasn't JSN's. Wasn't one of his oh my god, he is the highlight reel kind of games, because a lot of other players got to be involved as well, which was nice to see. Just really need to, we played great against this team. We need to just keep that momentum rolling. I think we now have the longest active streak in the NFL of road wins.
Still
something like that.
Yeah, that's 10 in a row.
Yeah. And I think we're at home versus the Cardinals this week. So
we're at home, and then we go on the road to the Rams.
Which we've been better at home this year, I will say. Just a wonderful win all around, and just like you said earlier, it's been fun to watch the Seattle Seahawks play.
Speaking of it being fun to watch the Seahawks play, though, now we get to talk about getting this new wide receiver.
Yes. Before we get into looking ahead at the Cardinals, part of that is the Seattle Seahawks made a trade for Mr. Rashid Shaheed from the New Orleans Saints, wide receiver, speed threat. And I'm hyped, honestly. I saw the notification, and I saw some excitement in some of the tweets and comments and stuff, and I'm like, okay, there's some excitement around this guy. I'm not familiar with the name. I don't know how big of a pickup he was. And then I was looking at some highlights and looking at his stats, and okay, he's not going to be your number 1, but he could absolutely be your number 3 or 4. I'm totally okay with that, especially because we only gave up a 3rd and a 4th round pick for this guy. I can 100% live with that. I don't know. I'm excited to watch him play in a Seahawks uniform. Having some more speed threat is going to be great. He's a wonderful punt returner as well, so he could definitely be utilized in that position as well. Really looking forward to him.
Yeah, my thoughts on it. I thought we would disagree a little bit, but you said that you see him as the 3 or 4.
Yep.
I honestly right now see our wide receiver as JSN, obviously number 1, but I honestly see moving Torrey Horton into the number 2 wide receiver spot right now. I know,
think so?
I know he's a rookie, and I know he's not Cooper Kupp, but nothing against Cooper Kupp, but I think just the way that he has played this year and everything, given his age and all that, I honestly think Cooper Kupp should be moved down to the number 3 spot.
Sure.
And until he comes
he's
back,
still
put
starter.
Yeah, put Rashid there. But honestly, I also think we should stop. We need to start, our offense is doing great, so it's not like we need to change everything up or anything. But I'd like to see some more 3 and 4 wide receiver sets instead of the constant 2 wide receiver set. I'm excited to see Rashid play. I think he'll be a great deep threat.
Yeah.
Because JSN, he's awesome deep threat as well. And just imagine you put a 4 receiver, like we get Cooper Kupp back in there from injury. You put a 4 receiver set out there, and you have JSN and Rashid both just doing streaks down either side, and then you've got Cooper Kupp and Torrey Horton doing slants across the middle. They don't know, no matter who you play, you can be playing the Colts right there, and they won't even know how to defend that because that's 4 amazing receivers going in all different directions, and you just go, ah!
Yeah, no, it's going to be a nightmare for defenses. Our wide receiver room, I think, is going to be one of the most underrated aspects of the Seahawks, and part of that, I think, is JSN's fault because he's going to still get most of the touches, but just the depth at which we have with wide receiver is wonderful. We got better going into Week 10 versus the Arizona Cardinals. Now, granted, we didn't need to get that much better for me to feel comfortable going into this Cardinals game because they're not doing well, which is really funny given the fact that, as we've mentioned in a couple episodes, Mitch and I thought that the Arizona Cardinals were going to be the ones that the Seahawks were going to be battling for first place in the NFC West, and not literally every other team not named the Cardinals. Yes, I think we're in a tie with the Rams, but the fucking 49ers, despite being half their team being in the hospital, are still down there kicking. But yeah, going into this Cardinals games, I will give you our comparison, our team head-to-heads as per usual. In points per game, the Seahawks are 7th in the league with 28.9, whereas the Cardinals are sitting at 22nd with 22.5, so Seahawks doing well in a way better points per game. Same story for passing yards per game, 262.4 for ninth in the league for the Seahawks, where the Arizona Cardinals have 227.8 passing yards per game, putting them at 23rd. As far as sacks go, the Seattle Seahawks defense has 27, putting them at 5th, whereas the Arizona Cardinals has 17, putting them at 21st, so 10 more sacks. So look for Jacoby Brissett, not Kyler Murray, to be having fun being under pressure versus the Seattle Seahawks, because it's also just not going to be fun in general, because even if he managed to get away from pressure, the Seattle Seahawks are 5th in the league with 9 defensive interceptions. The Arizona Cardinals are 16th in the league with 5. So looking at the head-to-head, this should be a blowout, frankly. Simply put, this should be another blowout. It's a divisional game, so it's always going to be different no matter what kind of disparity there is between a team's talent and performance. But I will be shocked if the Seattle Seahawks do not come away from this win and do not win this game up by 10 points, I think, at least.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about this game.
Yeah.
I think we'll be fine. I hope our run game does better in this.
Yeah.
I just hope that they do better. That's all I really got for that is just prove that you can do better. Because if you do, I'm sorry, but if you do bad against the Cardinals, that just seals it for me that, okay, our run game sucks this year. We're not going to get better. If we can't do well in the run game against the Cardinals, that is literally just done right there. It's just, okay, run game is done for the season. We're only going to
stick a fork in them.
We're going to average maybe 4 yards per carry that we ever do, and that's how the season's going to end. It's going to say K9 with a 4.0 average on runs, yardage, and Charbonnet with like a 2.9.
I don't really have much else. I just need the run game to actually figure it the fuck out.
Tell
this
me about
episode or this
episode.
Yes.
I wish we were doing a live episode at the game this week, but we will not be, unfortunately.
Not this week. Maybe we'll see if we can put something together for later in the year, but I don't know.
Or next season.
Yeah,
have more time. But I do think this game's going to be a blowout.
Yeah,
in favor of the Seahawks.
Yeah. Yes. Got to make sure. It's a blowout in favor of the Seahawks, not the other way around, please.
But
yeah.
that's all I have on this upcoming game.
Yep, same. So I think it is time we move on to the next section. Power rankings, right?
First, actually, we're going to talk about the top 10 MVP NFL candidates.
Right,
yeah, to
right.
make sure I say NFL because MLB is also kind of doing their thing right now.
Well, we'll talk about that here in a second as well. But yeah, let's look at that.
All right, so we'll talk about the top 10. We'll start at number 10 and go down to number 1. I'm really excited about number 10. It's JSN.
Yep. He absolutely has. I've seen some people throwing his name, right?
I think he's a little low on top 10, but, whatever.
I don't know. I mean, receivers so rare. I don't know if a receiver has ever won that. I know a running back has, but I don't know if receiver has ever won the MVP.
Be cool, though.
So just him being in the conversation is cool. I think he 100% could get Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. And number 9, Jalen Hurts.
Sure, yeah. He hasn't had the greatest season this year, so, he's going to be pretty low.
Number 8, because, of course, he has to be on this list, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, before they got, their rushing game back, he was kind of the only reason they were being competitive. So, I'm honestly surprised he's not higher, so I'm okay with him being 8th.
Number 7, Jared Goff.
Sure, yeah. Had a Goff-like season, been solid.
Number 6, Sam Darnold.
A little low, honestly.
Yeah.
I've seen, obviously, this is just one list. I've seen some people saying he's top 3 or 5. So I'm just happy he's on that list in general, and he plays for the Seahawks.
Yeah, exactly. Just come on. At least we have 2 Seahawks on the list right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Number 5 is Drake May.
Yeah, valid, deserved. He's been solid for the Patriots, making them look like they're back.
Yeah. Number 4 is Matthew Stafford.
Unfortunately, yeah, he's played really well this year.
Number 3 is Josh Allen.
Yeah. Feels a little low, honestly, but we'll see.
Yeah. Number 2 is Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
And number 1 is Jonathan Taylor.
That's surprising, honestly. I'm surprised that it's him and not Daniel Jones, because he's been the talk of the town.
Daniel Jones isn't even on this list, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's crazy. Honestly, if it's not a Seahawk, I would love for it to be a running back. So, I think Sam Darnold's a little low. I'm excited to see that JSN is on that list. I definitely think he's in contention for Offensive Player of the Year. But yeah, I think Sam Darnold is absolutely a 5 or 3 MVP candidate. He's absolutely a top 5, maybe top 3 quarterback in the NFL right now. And I don't think there's a lot of people who, after that showing on Sunday Night Football, are going to really dispute that, which feels really cool. But, so that is going to do it for our top 10 MVP look. And let's hop into our lovely, lovely power rankings from our main man, Frank Schwab of Yahoo Sports, as usual. Am I going to be pissed off today?
I don't think so, actually. I think you'll be happy.
The question is if I'll be accurate with my assumptions.
Fair enough. But per usual, Richard, who are the top 5 on Yahoo Sports Power Rankings by Frank Schwab?
Number 5, I'm going to put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 4 is going to be the Indianapolis Colts. Number 3... Number 3, I think with Schwab, the way he moved, I think he would put the Chiefs. Number 2, we'll say the Lions. And number 1, I'm going to say the Seahawks just because I fucking can.
I love your confidence.
Hey, in my defense, Tom Grossi of the Packcast did have the Seahawks as his number 1 rated team, at least of this week. So, I know they're not going to be a number 1, but I'm not going for accuracy this week.
Fair enough.
I'm going for fun.
So, as far as your list goes, you did have the Chiefs and Colts exactly correct.
3 and 4.
But I will say, so number 1 team, Philadelphia Eagles.
They haven't been that amazing, though. I'm surprised they're number 1. Them being top 5, I can understand.
They moved up
number
from
1, though.
4.
Damn, he makes such big jumps. Just number 5, though, like number 1, though, just feels a little high, but number 5 feels like the right. I don't know. Even number 2 would have felt better.
Fair enough. But yeah, number 1 is the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 2 is the Buffalo Bills. They moved up from 5th to 2nd.
Okay.
Number 3, Kansas City Chiefs. They moved down from 1 to 3. I'm shocked they moved.
Yeah.
Number 4 is the Colts. They did move down from 3rd to 4th.
Yeah. I think they've lost this week, too, so it's okay.
And number 5, the Seattle Seahawks.
I'll take it. We're top 5. Woo! Honestly, the Seahawks being 5 was my actual thought, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna put the Seahawks at 1.
Fair enough. They did move up from 8th last week to 5th this week, so
yeah. So that I think that's it. I honestly think 5 is a fair. As much as I love the Seahawks being number 1, I think anywhere in that 3 to 5 range is kind of where they belong. I don't know if I'd call them a top 2 team yet. They certainly can be when that run game is
I was going to say, it's that run game holding them back.
Yeah, 100%.
But, per usual, what he had to say about the Eagles being at number 1, the Eagles haven't played their best game every week, but we know their best is really good, and presumably that will happen more often as the season goes on. This is still a championship-level roster during this season in which it's hard to trust any team.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that he mentions, it's hard to trust any team because this season has been, really shaky. I don't think there's been one clear favorite and one clear runaway team with the league. The closest thing is the Colts, and even they're not, invincible. So, yeah, I think that's fair, honestly. It does feel like anyone in this top 5 can be number 1 any day of the week.
Yeah. And we'll talk about we'll read what he had to say about the Seahawks later on, but
yeah,
because you don't get to guess where the Seahawks are this week.
Nope.
But you do get to guess the bottom 3 teams, 32, 31, and 30.
So we're gonna go with Titans. We're gonna go with who has it been lately? We're gonna go with Titans. We're gonna go with Jets, and then Dolphins.
Damn, you're so close every time.
Damn it.
The Titans are 32. It's the Saints at 31. And
they dropped.
Yeah, they dropped. Well, they dropped from 30th last week. And then the Jets moved up to 30th. So the Saints and Jets swapped spots.
Okay, and where were the Dolphins?
29th. They didn't move.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Well, let's hear about our Tennessee Titans.
I didn't read this one.
Hey,
earlier.
at least we don't care. At least we don't care about them anymore because Tyler Lockett isn't there. How did he?
I still care about Cam Ward.
Yeah, Cam Ward is cool. While you read that, I'm gonna see if Tyler Lockett ended up playing this week. Go ahead.
So, what he has to say about the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are awful. We'd be talking about them going 0-17 if they didn't get lucky at Arizona. Tennessee had an interception return and punt return for touchdowns and still lost at home. A 1-16 season is on the table.
Yeah, I absolutely think that they are already are and just they're just so bad.
Let's keep it a buck. They're ass. So you don't get to guess where the Seahawks are, but we still will go with our previous opponent, so the Commanders, and our next opponent, the Cardinals. Where do you think the Commanders are? Where do you think the Cardinals are?
I think the Commanders are 25 and the Cardinals are 27.
Damn. So close with the Commanders.
Damn.
24th.
Whoa! Really close because they were 22nd last week.
20.
So yeah,
they were 20th.
Yeah, so of course they're gonna drop, especially with Jaden Daniels' arm.
Yeah. So what Frank Schwab had to say about the Commanders dropping to 24th. Jaden Daniels' injury makes a bad season worse. The defense is very poor, and that's something that needs to be addressed in the offseason. Washington had a really old roster this season. This won't be the easiest fix.
No, it will not. They've got some work to do. They've got some pieces there, but they've got some work to do.
And then the Cardinals. You said 27th.
Yeah.
You're pretty far off. Not that far off.
Really?
You're off by 5. They're 22nd, actually.
Okay.
They did move up from 26 because they won. So
Yeah.
and they beat America's team. But anyway, so the Arizona Cardinals are 22nd, and he said, "It's undeniable now that the Cardinals have played better with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. That makes things very awkward. Can the Cardinals turn back to Kyler Murray, or see if Brissett can lead them back into the playoff race? It will be hard to bench Brissett after a nice win over Dallas."
Yeah. It's rough seeing Kyler Murray just like fizzle out. Injuries kind of held him back for some things, but he never lived up to the talent that he had, and I kind of wish he had just stayed drafted by the Athletics, because I think he would have maybe had a better career in baseball than he is having in football.
I was hoping for the best for him because I do like him, but like you said, I think he would have done better in baseball. Because he was a really good baseball player.
I mean, he was drafted first. Like I can't remember. I don't think he was first overall, but he was definitely first round of the MLB draft, and he went to the Oakland A's. Like that would have been amazing.
And now Las Vegas A's.
They will always and forever be the Oakland A's. You can fight me on that.
Well, now don't they play in San Francisco or something at the moment?
They play in Sacramento right now,
Sacramento.
and their stadium is being built in Las Vegas as we speak.
Is it still being built?
Yeah, it's actually, they broke ground and everything.
Oh, okay.
One thing real quick, because I think that wraps up our power rankings, correct?
Oh, last thing. So, real quick, what he had to say about the Seahawks being at 5th. The Seahawks are good. Find it funny. The Titans start off with, the Titans are awful. The Seahawks are good. But he said, the Seahawks are good. Sam Darnold is good. JSN might be the best receiver in the NFL this season. The defense is fantastic. Maybe Sunday night's blowout of the Commanders will lead to more deserved recognition of how strong Seattle is this season.
Yeah.
Is he talking to himself?
Maybe. Speaking of Seattle getting some deserved recognition, I am actually going to read a Seahawks power ranking blurb. Looking on the official NFL app, because I was looking up the stats and everything, and I found this on the official NFL app. Eric Edholm, who is one of the lead writers over at the NFL.com page, he has his power rankings, and I just wanted to highlight the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks on the NFL.com are ranked number 1, going up from number 5. And here is what Mr. Eric Edholm had to say about the Seattle Seahawks, and then we will move on into the Seattle Mariners. In the last edition of the Power Rankings, I dropped the Seahawks following their bye, looking to reward some teams that had done well in Week 8. Boy, that blew up in my face. Spanking the Commanders something fierce reminded me of what I first saw in Seattle when I had it cracking the top 3 not long ago. A really dangerous football team when the Hawks are playing their best. And their best could still be in front of them with the acquisition of Rashid Shaheed and with a lot of younger players manning big roles, especially on defense. They can also get healthier on that side of the ball, which makes Sunday night's dominance all the more impressive. Seattle's defense really only has been stressed once this weekend in Week 5 in the Week 5 loss versus Tampa Bay, and Sam Darnold looked pretty great Sunday following some so-so play before the bye. Hell yeah, I'll take it. Also, just because it's annoying, number 2 is the Rams. Yeah, I think that is about going to wrap it up for the Seattle Seahawks. We're rolling, man. We're rolling, and I'm having a lot of fun watching the Seattle Seahawks team, like I know you are, like you mentioned earlier. And, yeah, let's take a look at our Seattle Mariners. So, for the Mariners, I'm going to real quick let y'all know about some stuff that went down this week in Mariners land. First things first, the MLB Awards finalists were announced this week. The winners will be announced on the 14th. But with the World Series being over, the offseason has officially begun, and that begins with finalist announcements. Unfortunately, Julio didn't win Gold Glove. I think he absolutely deserved it, but the guy who did end up winning it looks like he had more innings played and stuff like that. So frustrating, unfortunate, but oh well. He deserved Gold Glove. He'll get one eventually. His defense is too good not to get a Gold Glove at some point. I wanted to highlight Cal Raleigh is officially on the ballot for MVP. He is up there with Aaron Judge and Jose Ramirez for the top 3 MVP candidates. And so we'll have to wait and see on November 14th to see whether or not he wins that. I do believe he deserves it, and if you disagree, you can argue with a wall. And then manager of the year, Dan Wilson is on the table for manager of the year in the American League, which honestly I'm really hyped about. I think he deserves it. Dan Wilson definitely got some flack this year. Some deserved, I think some not so deserved, for some of his, specifically bullpen decisions and things like that. But yeah, so Cal Raleigh officially on the board for MVP. And Dan Wilson on the board for manager of the year. Now moving on into some more important things real quick. We're going to talk about free agency as a whole. And that begins, we did have technically two roster moves today. Andres Munoz's club option was officially picked up by the Mariners, so he will be with the Mariners for 2026. I believe that was a $9 million club option. And Mitch Garver, the mutual option between him and the team, the club declined Mitch Garver's mutual option, making Mitch Garver a free agent. So yeah, Andres Munoz officially picked up, and Mitch Garver is officially a free agent, and I would be surprised to see him come back in a Mariners uniform, especially with Harry Ford getting the call-up late this past season. So yeah, one other note, just as far as actual, preseason or off-season things go, players will be able to sign with any club starting Thursday, November 6th. So that is when things will really start flowing. So by our next episode should hopefully have some moves to talk about. And one of those I hope will involve a guy named Josh, last name Naylor. But speaking of some moves to talk about, we have a few guys that we want the Seahawks to kind of take a look at. Mariners, to kind of take a look at and see, just there's some things that this team can do to get better, and some players on the off-season board who might be worth picking up. And I'm going to let Mitch start off the show with who do you want the Mariners to potentially take a look at?
So there's a really cool free agent that I would love for the Mariners to pick up. Well, there's certainly two. There's two. Kyle Tucker is one of them.
Yes.
But the other one that I didn't know that he was going to be a free agent is Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, I mean, Bellinger, he's a center fielder. I think Bellinger would be fantastic to be on the Mariners.
He's a left fielder.
He already looks... Yeah, he already looks stoned as hell at all times, and I think that just fits perfectly in Seattle.
Can we get both Kyle Tucker and Bellinger, put Tucker in right field, Bellinger in left field, have Julio in center, and we just have an amazing outfield?
I mean, yeah.
I don't think we can afford them, but...
I was going to say, except for the fact that Tucker's projected deal is 10 years, $390 million.
It's fine. We got this.
That's $39 million of, I think our offseason budget is going to be like something like 30 to 40, something like that, and I think it needs to be more. So as much as I would love to get both those guys, I don't really see that one happening there, Chief.
Well, if we can't get Kyle Tucker, then I say we get Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, Cody Bellinger would be sick. Anybody else you have on your list?
I have two others. I think just one other, actually. Well, Josh Naylor is a given that we still need to get him, but
he's priority.
But a relief pitcher I would like to see us pick up is Edwin Diaz.
Edwin Diaz would be insane. His contract is going to be nuts because he's one of the best closers in baseball. I don't know if you know this, Mitch, because this was around the time you weren't really watching the Mariners. He actually used to be a Mariner and then was traded to the Mets.
I did actually know that.
Yeah, so him coming to the Mariners would be cool. I feel like that one's honestly more of a pipe dream than Kyle Tucker.
I think the last person I had on here that would be kind of cool, and his contract wouldn't be that hard to get, or even that bad. Would be Ha-Seong Kim.
Ha-Seong Kim would be cool. The only problem is like, I don't know, Colt Emerson's almost ready to go. Colt Emerson is almost ready to be your everyday shortstop. A lot of people have been saying this year he's gonna kind of get the Julio treatment. for those of you who don't know, in the offseason of 2022, before Julio got called up, he went from Double-A, and then spring training of 2022, got the opportunity to he played his way into being the starting center fielder. And Colt Emerson absolutely could do that. He played a little bit in AAA right at the end of the year, and looked solid. So it sounds like that is something that is in the cards for the Mariners, is seeing if maybe Colt Emerson's your starting shortstop. Which, I don't know, do you then use J.P. Crawford as trade capital at that point? Possibly. I mean, I think if I don't think you would trade J.P. Crawford going into the season. I think you would start Colt Emerson, see how he looked for like a couple months, and then trade him around the deadline. Because J.P. Crawford is still going to have some value. I wouldn't love to see J.P. Crawford get traded just because he's the longest tenured Mariner, and I would feel really sad to see him go. But it's a business. I allow myself to only get attached to very few players. I'm already worried about Josh Naylor. I'm not going to get attached to J.P. Crawford. But yeah, no. Anyway, getting back to the free agent thing, yeah, Hassan Kim would be really, really cool.
Okay, one final name. A relief pitcher as well. Robert Suarez.
Yes, Robert Suarez would be nice.
Because his contract wouldn't be that bad either. He's also opting out to become a free agent. He's got $16 million left, so like even him squeezing out more than 16, it's not that big of a contract that you would have to offer him. And
he's manageable, 100%.
He pitched 69.2 innings and posted a 2.97 ERA. Now, mind
I'd
you,
be happy to have that in the bullpen.
Apparently, that was if you overlook two disaster outings in which he recorded 1 out and surrendered 5 runs, he actually drops that ERA. If those 2 innings don't happen, or 2 outings don't happen, he actually posted a 1.7 ERA.
Which is insane. And honestly, I don't mind like doing the kind of thing with stats where it's like, if you take away these couple starts, take away these couple outings, like I think it's important to kind of look at the range of what a player can do. But yeah, no, I would totally be okay with him.
And then just a couple, even with so his full on stats were 69.2 innings pitched, a 2.97 ERA, a .9 WHIP, 75 strikeouts, and 16 base on balls.
That's crazy. Just gonna real quick for those of you watching this who may not be the most stat savvy for baseball, just to give the quickest of explanations. ERA is kind of an overall number of how many runs that pitcher averages per outing, earned run average. So having he's a sub 3. 2.97, you said?
2.97, and the league average for the relief pitchers, it is anywhere between a 3.5 to a 4. That's the league average, so he's under the league average.
Which, in this instance, he's well above average in his ERA.
Yeah.
He allows a significant less amount of pitches. And then WHIP is one that I had to take a while to get used to because I never really paid attention to it. That's walks and hits per innings pitched. So basically, how many times is he allowing someone to get a hit or to get on base, just in general? And so he's allowing less than one person per inning to get on base, which is insane. That's a really, really solid number. What's the league average on that one, actually?
The MLB league-wide WHIP average for relief pitchers is 1.318.
And he had a .9 whatever. Like, that's insane, dude. So yeah, that would be a wonderful pitcher for the Mariners to pick up.
Mind you, the league average for teams' ace starting pitchers is 0.7 to 0.9.
Yeah.
He posted a 0.9. He's at the average of an ace starting pitcher.
Yeah, coming out of the bullpen. That's nice to see.
Yeah. So the full on league average for all pitchers, including like just starters, relief pitchers, and closers, averages out to about 1.3.
Yeah, so he's well above average, which, yeah, that would be great to see 100%. Yeah, honestly, some fun free agents there that I wish we could get. Really love that last relief pitcher you were talking about. Gonna have my eye on him for sure.
Robert Suarez,
yeah,
he played for the Padres too.
Yeah, which we love the Padres on this channel. Yeah, anybody else before we hop into? I think my list will be a little quicker, but
Probably.
yeah.
I don't think so.
And this will be probably an ongoing thing, I think. That's the fun thing with the off season is it isn't just 1 week. So,
yeah, you're all good.
Yeah,
go for it.
looking at so mine really quick. I'm gonna echo what Mitch said. Would love to get Kyle Tucker. Had an 895 OPS, which is on base plus slugging, which is basically just an overall number for how well a player did. 152 WRC plus, which is I think that's if I'm not mistaken, that is basically just like how many runs that player created. And those are over his past 2 seasons. So he has been solid. An 8.7 WAR, which so long as you're above a 0, you're above average. Throwing a lot of stats at you today. Hope you're learning something. All in all, Kyle Tucker is an above-average player. Great defense, great offense. Would love to get him. He will be expensive. He is projected, like I mentioned earlier, at 10 years, $391 million per Kelly McDaniel over on ESPN. So he would be pricey. He would probably eat up just about your entire offseason budget, which is unfortunate. Someone else that would be a great person to have on the Mariners, at least on paper, is Alex Bregman. He's a third baseman, and as much as I would love this because he had a 125 WRC plus, a 3.6 WAR, F WAR specifically, with his 114 games in Boston, I would love him to be a Seattle Mariner, but the problem is he is one of the Astros who played during the cheating scandal. And I don't know if that's a pill that I could swallow. Obviously, I would if he performs well, but I would be uncomfortable every day I see his jersey and see him playing in a Mariners uniform. But all that being said, I would take even Jose Altuve if he made this team better. I'll be totally honest with you. I would get over my qualms. I would get over my qualms for those specific players, depending on what they do. But yeah, so I mean, Bregman would be nice. He would be great. However, though, he is also slated to be very expensive, with a 6-year, $180 million projection right now through Baseball America, and that is, I think, a little rich for my blood. It's another $30 million a year deal. And you've still got to sign Naylor. You still got to sign, Jorge Polanco. You still got to try and get a relief pitcher. I don't know if I love the Mariners spending $30 million plus on a single player, unless his name is Josh Naylor. So
as far as signing Jorge Polanco, from what I've seen, it seems like he's gonna go test free agency.
Which I don't blame him for, honestly. He deserves it. He's going to get a bag no matter where he goes. I do hope that the Mariners, I do think they would have a good chance at signing him, because I think they could probably match whatever price he'd be looking for, and if not, like, save a little bit money on it, because he had such a good time in Seattle, it seemed. So, I don't know. I hope that... I would love if, just as a good faith thing, they both decide to, pick up that option and then sign him an extension. That's been a concept that a lot of people have thrown around that I do think could happen. I wouldn't bank on it. I do agree that I think Jorge Polanco is going to be a free agent. And I would be sad by that if he doesn't come back to the Mariners, because I really fell in love with Polanco this year. Yeah. So, moving on to a couple other players, Ryan O'Hearn is someone I would be interested in for the Seattle Mariners. He's 32, so he's a little bit on the older side. He is a first baseman, but he would be a good backup plan if you're not able to get Naylor. He this year had a 127 WRC plus and a 3 F WAR. So an above average player, an above average bat this year, and he has solid defense. It's questionable whether or not he's an everyday player, which you would kind of need from him at the first base position, because the one kind of like rough spot for the Seattle Mariners farm system is first base. We don't have a lot of first base depth going into the minor leagues. But at the very least, I do think he would be a good platoon. You could maybe platoon him with Luke Raley. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Well, actually, platooning him with Luke Raley wouldn't really make the most sense, because Luke Raley is also a left-handed hitter. I don't know. Either way, some questions there if you were to go with Ryan O'Hearn. But, I mean, he had an 832 OPS, with Baltimore and the Padres this year. And he's projected right now through Baseball America for a 3-year, $45 million contract. $15 million a year is a lot easier to swallow for me, for a player like that. And like I said, he would kind of be your backup plan, I think, to Josh Naylor, if Josh Naylor does happen to go sign somewhere else, God's forbid. Couple other players real quick, just to wrap it up on my end. Willie Castro, he's a utility player. He had a 107 WRC plus this year. He's never posted above a 107 WRC plus or above a 750, so he isn't the most amazing offensive potential, but he is a really, really solid defensive. Wait, hold on. No, sorry. He's a very middle range player, honestly. He's one of those ones where he would probably, just kind of be. He's someone where if we're signing Willie Castro and he's like one of our only signings, I wouldn't be thrilled about it. He would be like maybe a little bit of a better Dylan Moore. He'd be very kind of mid-range, I would say. Maybe a little bit worse defensively, but the benefit to him would be the positional flexibility. And he's also projected to only be 2 years, $22 million, so $11 million a year, which is fine. I have no problem with that. That's a pretty cheap contract for what you would kind of expect from a guy like him. So I don't know. Would be interesting. Not my favorite. Not someone who's gonna blow my socks off, but is fine. And last but certainly not least, I'm gonna talk about someone not from the MLB. We're going to talk about, and pardon me, I'm going to do my best to pronounce this name, Munetaka Murakami. Okay, he is a third base, first base from the Japanese NPB. He's 25 years old, and it is reported that he has indicated that he is going to be looking at going to the MLB. And he would be awesome. He is a high strikeout, kind of like high homer kind of player. So he would definitely be risky, especially because he's projected to be a 7-year, $140 million deal. So that's $20 million a year for 7 years, which is a long contract for someone. That actually would be the longest and most expensive contract in terms of total value given to a Japanese position player in MLB history. So he would also, I think, be another solid backup option to some of the third base, first base options if he does, in fact, become a free agent. And I don't know. I think it would be cool to see him. I like when guys come over from the MPB. I always wish that Mariners could pick them up because we have a lot of pull with the Japanese NPB players, with Ichiro Suzuki being, one of our hitting coaches, basically, and just all the history and tight-knit love that the Seattle Mariners shares with Japanese baseball. So yeah, would love to see him. I think that would be cool. Again, the concern there is the high strikeout rate. It's not great, especially when you're considering it's the Mariners, but I'd be happy to see.
Okay. I actually found one other person that I did want to talk about. I was trying to find him earlier. I couldn't find him, but I did just now. And it's funny that you bring up the MPB, because he's also from the MPB, and I think he would be a little bit better fit than yours. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your guy's name.
Murakami.
Here we go, because I'm going to try to pronounce this name. Kazuma Akamoto.
Yes, Akamoto. I've heard about this guy too. Yes.
He's actually, in this little article I have here, he's compared to Murakami. And and he's better apparently.
Yeah.
He's also, it would cost less to get Okamoto than it would Murakami, which is shocking because he did play better this year than Murakami did.
Yeah.
He apparently, his batting average was a .416.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
That's insane. That is an insane number. Holy hell.
With 15 home runs in 293 plate appearances.
Wow.
And he played in 69 games.
Yeah, I could go for that on the Seattle Mariners.
His strikeout rate was 11.3%. Put that into perspective.
That's solid.
The league average is 22.3%.
Yeah, that's insane. Now, obviously, one thing to note when looking at players coming from any international league, but the NPB specifically, it's not the MLB. Pitchers pitch differently.
Yeah,
things are different.
It is different.
It's not the same league. But, I mean, these numbers are still valuable because a lot of these guys who are just that good in the MPB, they don't regress that significantly if they do regress in the MLB. So, I would not be upset at all if the Mariners went and signed any of these NPB guys.
One other stat for him, he also had a 90% in-zone contact rate.
Yeah, that's we need a high contact guy on this team.
He is a pull guy, but apparently when he pulls it, that's when he gets his home runs.
Yeah, works for me. For me, baby. But yeah, so a lot of things going on with free agency. Like I said, I think this will kind of be like an ongoing section. It's the off season. Things are going to be changing constantly. We'll give some updates on TikTok and things like that. But excited for next week's episode when we record that because that will be after the off season free agent opening begins. As much as I would love to say we're going to sign Naylor right off the rip, I think it's going to be a few weeks. I think, he's going to take his time, talk with teams, and it's going to be a while, and it's going to be, oh, God, it's going to be stressful. I'm so not ready for this. Naylor does not need to be a Mariner for the offseason to be successful.
No.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I would be devastated if I have to see him put on another team's uniform.
Be more okay with him putting on a Dodgers uniform over a Yankees uniform, though.
Anybody but the Yankees, please. Like, most anybody.
No Yankees, no Astros. Anyone else?
Yes.
I'm totally fine with.
You just get better. Just get better. That's all I ask. Just shore up the holes on this offense, shore up the holes on this defense, and just get better is all I ask.
Pick up a third baseman. Nothing against Eugenio.
Well,
but
no, a third baseman is hard because Ben Williamson, I think, is going to be fine. He was iffy offensively beginning of the year, but he started to play better than he ever has in AAA. He just needed more at-bats. I think Ben Williamson is going to be your starting third baseman. I would not be surprised if Colt Emerson, maybe I think JP would be your starter, and I think Colt Emerson will make this team coming out of spring training. You know what? I'm going to get too ahead of myself. We'll save that for a little later in the offseason. Yeah.
I'll say one final thing then as far as Naylor goes. If they don't sign him, I would love for them to pick up Okamoto then. Because he is mainly a third baseman, but he plays first and left field as well.
Yeah, he's versatile.
So,
he's a good backup plan.
I
100%.
think if they don't get Naylor, he'd be an excellent backup plan.
That is going to do it for us here at the 12th Inning Podcast. Again, episode 10, by the way, which is just kind of crazy that we've hit 10 official episodes. Obviously, there is the lost episode that we've alluded to, and the episodes over on my South Sound Mariners page. Yeah, just been a lot of fun. Really excited to keep doing this. 10 episodes in is honestly farther than I think I've gotten with any project I've ever wanted to do. So really looking forward to keeping this going and just getting better and better and better and continuing to have more fun with it. So if you guys want to be part of that ride, again, we're still early in it. So dropping a like, dropping a follow, commenting, all those sorts of things, all the podcasty things, we appreciate it greatly from the bottom of our hearts. And keep an eye on the TikTok, keep an eye on the Twitter. I'm trying to be a bit more active on there. In fact, I think some of you might actually be here from the TikTok this week, which was really, really cool. But yeah, anything else, Mitch, before we go?
No, that's all I got.
All right. Well, like we always say here at the 12th Inning Podcast, Trident's up. Go Mariners.
And go Hawks.